Hi there, and welcome back to the dojo. This is Comic Book Black Belt, Russ Leach, and this is the first in a series of videos about the basics, the way that I approach the basics in my drawing. Obviously, most of my drawing is for comics, so you have a slightly different approach to the way that you would draw, say, fine art, or if you were painting portraiture or that kind of thing. It's in some ways a shorthand approach, but you still need to understand some of the basics, as it were. So I'm going to start off with a bit of anatomy. We're going to look at all kinds of things in these videos, but this one is just about proportions. So as you can see, I've just sketched in a male anatomical structure. I'm not going into the muscles or the musculature too far. I'll do that in the next video. This is just about proportions. So as you can see, it's not like a superhero body. It's just your basic average body. So on an average body, you would expect in a male the shoulders to be slightly wider than the hips, for the torso to match height in roughly of the top half of the legs into the abdomen, for the waist to be roughly halfway down, for your elbows to be just above your waist height, and for your hands to be just below your groin, and roughly somewhere between a 7 and an 8 head height overall. So if you count all the sizes of your heads and you add them all up, it's roughly 7 to 8. Obviously that depends on your body type. If you're looking for a more heroic body type with far more muscle mass, then and a taller, broader overall beam, then it's not going to be quite, it's going to be edged towards the 8. And then of course you might want something quite bizarre where it's a massive body and a tiny head, something like the Hulk, for instance. Then you're not going to be hitting that. But what's important is to get the proportions right. So for instance, how you get your biceps, triceps, forearms, elbows, shoulders into proportion. If you then add on to that, that's when you get a figure like the Hulk. So from a comic strip perspective, proportions are extremely important. As you see, I've gone on now to draw a female anatomy, and it's slighter. Straight away you can see that it's slighter. The waist is slightly further up the body, although we're still looking at the elbows sitting very close to the waist. Then you get a broader, longer abdomen. Thinner, slimmer in the legs. This girl hasn't got particularly long legs. It's quite an average perspective. I mean, the anatomy that I'm drawing for both the male and the female here is very average. There's going to be different body types, different weights and heights and what have you, but you're only going to be able to change your style. You're only going to be able to produce believable figure work in your sequential art if you understand the basics, if you understand proportions, and that's where we're starting off with this video. The next video I do, as I suggest, I'm going to do a male with more detailed muscles. I won't go fully detailed. This is just a rough idea, because we're looking at it from a comic perspective of roughly where these muscles sit within the anatomy of a figure. And then after that I'll do male and female of that, and then after that we'll start looking at foreshortening. And what we will do is I've flicked straight into the proportions on this, but we can start using some methods like using cylinders for portions of the body, for limbs and what have you, so that can help us produce that foreshortening or perspective of a human body, which is so often used in comic strip, because obviously it helps to create a dynamic angle, and you're always looking for a visually exciting point of view when you're producing panels for sequential art. So hopefully you're getting something from the way that I see proportions. Like I say, this is a very quick sketch just to lay down the broad concept of what I want to do with the tutorials, to give you an insight into what I'm going to be doing in the future, and hopefully it's going to be useful to you. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching Comic Book Black Belt. If you've enjoyed the content from this video, please like, share or subscribe, and come over and follow me on Twitter. It's been great having you in the dojo. See you again soon.